Emma Corrin is becoming a Hollywood powerhouse, best known for roles in period pieces, from stunning viewers as Princess Diana in The Crown to now taking on a literary classic in Lady Chatterley's Lover. Emma sits down with our Phil Lipoff to talk about what drew them to this latest role and the journey to coming out as non-binary.
I spent a good deal of last night watching a lot of the Crown,
oh,
your
wow.
season.
Okay, yeah.
And that was a huge year for you. I mean, even looking at you face to face right now, what you did in that season was incredible. Just personally, there were some times where you spoke words where your jaw just was so right on with Princess. It just was so amazing that you were able to do that. Before we get into everything else, I'm just wondering, how hard was that to do?
Yeah, it was challenging, but it's something that really enticed me. When you do The Crown, you're part of an incredible sort of infrastructure and family, and you have many resources and so much help and support with finding your character, but at the end of the day, it sort of is up to... You get to this point where you've done so much work and research and then just sort of letting that go and letting the words take you to that place.
I would imagine there were some common themes that led you into Connie as well. The women are kind of the same.
Yeah, sort of trapped, looking for liberation.
You know what you have? Tenderness. I didn't say you were gentle. I've had enough of gentlemen.
Well, they're a different breed.
Yeah, come from the same place, trapped, looking for liberation. Connie takes it a step further, or in a different direction. Tell me about playing that role.
I just remember being really excited and exhilarated when I read the script. I had read the book and knew that it had been the centre of this huge censorship debate, which is obviously incredibly relevant now with so much literature being censored. And obviously the book has at its heart so much about female sexuality and the journey of female pleasure and how it's so central to this woman's story. And I think that that's something that's very rarely depicted on screen, especially in a very genuine and honest way. You
were quoted as saying, I was excited to do a role that would take me out of my comfort zone. How far out of your comfort zone did this take you?
It sort of did and it didn't. I think the dancing in the rain scene was probably one of the most terrifying things I've ever done in my life.
I would think most people would say that.
Yeah, I think so. And because there are things in movies that are like, you know, movie magic. You're not actually experiencing it or actually doing it, and that's your job, to be able to, not fake, but like, I don't know, imagine that you're doing those things and telling those stories. But there was nothing that you could fake about this.
Like, it was... you're talking about, you're dancing around
naked in the rain, in a field.
And there are cameras and everything.
Yeah, and I just remember this real feeling of euphoria as we sort of, like, share that experience together and completely let go. And we did it quite early on in the shooting, and it really, I think, helped us capture that sense of sort of liberation from everything that both these characters were trying to find.
Don't you think folks would become suspicious if you keep coming here? Imagine how lowered you'd feel, you, with your husband's gamekeeper.
You afraid?
I bloody well am.
And I want to go back to 2020. Like, after that incredible performance, you know, and the award and just all the critical acclaim for what you did with Diana, the following year you come out as queer and non-binary, and you change your pronouns. So you have this tremendous year, and then you choose to do this. And I'm curious, was it just time, or did you feel that you had some foundation under you that you could, or I'm just wondering about that. It
was nothing to do with time. I think I just felt that was just something that I was experiencing personally at that time on the journey of my identity, and I would never feel like I could be disingenuous in how I come across in the public sphere of my life, I suppose. So it just happened that, yeah, I was always going to be honest about it, and always will be. I've been very open that, you know, I think everyone's identity is a journey, and it's, you know, I don't know if it's ever complete for anyone, no matter who you are or how you identify, so...
But again, with the bravery, social media, having the social media component to doing that, rather than just, say, telling your parents around a table or a couple of friends, social media is a very different beast.
I guess it's sort of two things. It's, you know, you have a platform, you have a responsibility, and queer community is one that is so prejudiced against in so many parts of the world, and for so many people, especially young people, coming out and finding their voice and seeing themselves reflected in social media, because there is so much, just such a big part of our lives. And I know that how much I looked up to people growing up who I could see myself reflected in. And
you have this career now that is extremely successful, and people probably want you from all over the place to do this role, do that role. What do you hope people take from this particular movie as you move forward?
I think, I hope it starts like conversations about female pleasure, about people's journey to finding themselves, and bravery. I think that we've spoken a lot about bravery. I think Connie's very brave, and I think also this film inspires a lot of hope about taking risks to be who you want to be and follow that drive and that curiosity to find out more about yourself and follow where sort of that pull leads you. And I think I've been sort of inspired by the character. I certainly feel like it's changed the way I think about, you know, striving for certain things and the courage that I have to do those things. So
all important themes today as well.
Yeah.
Period piece, but also they carry through today, right?
Yeah, totally.